11 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so now let's start going to the sequence at the end of the game. So my man Tyus Jones, I love Tyus Jones. And again, now they're trying to play Tyus and Ja together because Tyus is actually a little better point guard than Ja is as far as decision making. He's a 2. I don't know what he is. He's just a spectacular scorer of the basketball. But Ja can play out of control going down the lane. He can lose it. He missed shots in the fourth quarter. He missed, what, 4 or 5 shots? I think he missed 5 shots in the fourth quarter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 5 shots. Okay, so remember, he did miss 5 shots.
Right.
And every time he would miss, I'd be like, Ja, just slow down. Just cool out a little bit. Just back off and take it as it comes. Okay, so Tyus, who I trust is a clutch shooter, misses a 3. And what does Brandon Clark do, if we could please see this?
Goes against the rebound like Dennis Rodman.
And taps it back. This is the play. This is the game saver right here. Tyus. Here we go. Tyus, pretty open look, a wide open look, and he misses it right. Look at the back
right
tap.
Back to a 3.
And guess who had not made a 3 the whole game? Ja. He made his first and only 3 of the basketball game. And by the way, before the dunk, just for the record, Ja had scored a total of 10 points on 4 of 12 from the floor. And guess what he had done from the free throw line to that point before the dunk?
Oh, he was
terrible. He was 2 of 7 from the free throw line.
He was terrible.
And by the way, for the whole game, he missed 6 free throws. He was 11 of 17. Well, usually that will get you beaten,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And usually when the visiting team, just look at the 3-point discrepancy for the game.
Yeah, 14-33.
Yeah, and guess who led the whole NBA in 3-point shooting this year? It was the T-Wolves.
Yes.
Okay, so they make 14. The home team makes only 7 of 28. That's a grand total of 25%. So you get outscored 14-7 times 3. You get outscored by 21 points at home from the 3-point line. Won't that usually get your butt beat?
Of course. Well, and they missed 13 free throws.
Okay, missed 13 free throws. You should have lost, should have lost, should have lost. Okay, so now Ja comes up clutch and makes. I fell out of my chair when he made a 3 because as soon as he went up to shoot it, I'm almost like Westbrook, like, no.
I know it was over once he made that shot, Skip.
Okay, well, that started it downhill for the visiting team. And then, obviously, Ja missed a floater, Brandon Clark missed one. But then I got to show you this because you want to talk about, I'm like down on my knees on these. This is 8.2 seconds left. We got Ja shooting free throws. These are huge. And obviously, he'd missed 6 free throws up to this point. If we could see what he did at this moment, this is 8 seconds left, and I'm thinking, just give me one. I was like, give me one, and that one was pretty solid. The second one wasn't that solid because it hits front iron, as I recall. I haven't rewatched this. Yeah, front, back, and down. Okay, that puts them up 3, and I'm thinking, surely you can defend the 3.
Right.
And Chris Finch calls one of the great...
That was a great Skip. That was a great play design.
Strategic designs I've ever seen because you don't have much time left, and they swing it around and back pick for Ant-Man going to the far corner.
Dive to the corner.
And a great bounce pass from McLaughlin. If we could see this late play, this was
unbelievable.
This is as good as it gets on the inbounds. Big, nice bounce, and he just goes straight up over Brandon Clark and nails it.
Nails it.
Okay, so he's feeling himself.
Yes.
He's full of himself, and I'm on the floor rolling now because I'm saying, okay, now it's destined. You know, they're just going to pull this off, and it felt like it was going to go overtime at that point, and I'm thinking, Karl Anthony will make 2 more threes in overtime, and they're sunk.
Right.
Okay, and here we go with the play in question because Ant-Man is feeling himself, and he's like, I'm going to win the game on defense.
Yes.
I'm going to go for the throat on defense. If we could see the final inbounds play to Ja. And you're right, he gambled, and did he ever look? What are you doing? And yet,
and then he looked he's looking at the bench like, what? Bro, why would you do that?
I don't know. I was just shocked. And by the way, Dylan Brooks, that was a sweet feed from him because it happened so fast. And he bounced past it where Ja could get it on the move down the lane.
You got to get Skip with 4 seconds. You got to get something going to the basket.
Ooh, God, what a pass.
Everybody seems to know that except Anthony Edwards.
I agree. And when Ja got it unopposed going down the lane, I'm like, you're kidding. But now, that was not an easy shot that he made because Vanderbilt's in his way. Great name, Vanderbilt. And yet you got to go up and under with your left hand. But as you say, he's ambidextrous.
But this is him. This is his shot.
That's his shot. Up and under and sweet off the glass. Just lay it up nice and gentle off the glass. And I fell out of my chair again. It's ball game. Carl Anthony got one last heave with 1 second
but
left, but that's
over
it.
at that point.
And to me, that just saved the series. It saved the season.
Yes.
It saved a whole offseason of anguish, like we were this and we ended up being that.
Right.
It would have been despair just echoing through this downtown Memphis, and instead, they're back in business.
They're back in business. They're back where they're 3-2 going back to Minnesota. Skip, we talked about this. They have a 26-point lead. They have a 25-point lead that they lose. Now, they have another big lead in the game, but it takes Karl Anthony Towns coming up huge. He go 33 and 15 in order for them to save that. He played sensational last night.
Yep.
I just think sometimes, Skip, when they get a lead, everybody then all of a sudden thinks, you know what? This is going to be the shot that breaks their back. So if we up 13, I hit this 3, we're going to be up 22. And they just start turning it, 23 turnovers. But, I mean, they should be a little encouraged because they said, look, we can't defend a final play worse than we defended that one. We turned the ball over 23 times.
Yep.
We gave up 18 rebounds in the fourth quarter, and they only beat us by 2.
That is a fact.
If we just get a little common sense, we can beat this team. Skip, I believe they can beat this team in 7 games.
I believe they can.
But Skip, you can't continuously make those mistakes that they make. At some point in time, Skip, you make the same, okay, you win game 1, you play great. Game 2, okay. Now game 3, you make the same mistakes, game 3, game 4, game 5, which you should have won, and the series should be over. And I just don't, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, Ed, why are you coming down with 20 seconds on the clock, letting the 3 go, or shooting a contested 2? Cat, early in the shot clock, we don't need a step back Dirk Nowitzki. But that's who, and Memphis like, thank you. And next thing you know, Skip, okay, it's 11, it's 9, it's 7, it's 9, it's 7, it's 5. Now all of a sudden, it gets down and you see everybody, man, we had a third. They looking up just like you say with 6:53, they had an 11-point lead. They look up at the clock, it's 2 minutes, and we only got a 3-point lead. Yeah, that's exactly.
Dylan Brooks last night was 3 for 18 and 1 for 10 from 3.
Yes.
And Memphis survived that game. Help me out. How do you do that?
Right.
Well,
Skip only shot 41.5%. Ja was 9 of 22. Desmond Bain was 9 of 20.
and they ran him off the 3-point line as they should.
Yes.
They should just say, you can't have that. And he managed to get 3.
Yes.
Okay? So in the end, I step back from this, and it leaves me a little limp because it's hard for me to love the team that I loved going into this,
Right.
because they have not played up to the level I thought they could play, except for Ja down the stretch. And again, I reiterate, that dunk didn't change the game.
No.
It didn't jumpstart or inspire the Grizzlies.
It might have jump-started Ja.
That's what I said. Somehow, it made him feel like, okay, that's who I am, and I'm back.
Right.
And he made we both dismissed it as an excuse, like I'm not quite right off my sore knee. Well, after that dunk,
I
you'd
can
say,
tell.
I think you're okay, right? I think
Yes.
you're going to be okay. So here they go, and now they're a 2-point favorite going up, I think it's Friday night, to Minnesota. Do I love their chance? I don't. Is this going to go 7 games? I'm pretty sure it will go 7 games. And then we will see what we see. But at least Ja Morant turned back into Ja Morant.
Skip, Memphis out-rebounded them 53-42, 18-6 on the offensive end.
Yeah.
I mean, Cat.
How you survive.
I mean,
Yep.
we've seen Cat get you 20-20.
Yep. Well,
I mean,
he got you 12.
No,
And Vanderbilt got you 10.
Skip, no. You can't allow a guy to come off the bench and out-rebound you when you're the starter. Karl Anthony Towns played 35 minutes. Clark played 36 minutes, but he came off the bench. Can't let that man. You can't let a guy that comes off the bench, even though he plays more minutes, out-rebound you.
Yeah, he's the 6th man.
Yes.
He does not start the game. And, he's got a little Rodman in him, as in Dennis Rodman. You want to talk about nose for the basketball?
Well, I don't know how tall he is, but Rodman was an undersized rebounder.
Yeah.
He played below the rim. All of his rebounds were desire. I want the ball more than you. And he had a great understanding of, like, he could see the ball going up. Oh, it's going to come up over here. He takes
did.
off.
He could anticipate the carom.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. But Skip, I'm just trying to figure out after you said it. they've had these big leads. You agree with me. This series should be over. And you impressed with what Memphis did? Are you impressed that?
No, I'm just shocked that they came back because you shouldn't be able to. You should not be alive after this,
Skip,
and you are. You're barely breathing.
If you can come back twice in the same game from 26 and 25, don't you think you can come back from 13? What do you think they're thinking?
Well, is it good news or bad news that you keep getting down to this team?
Minnesota have to ask themselves, we get them down, we just can't hold them down.
Yeah, I'll leave you with this point. I remind you that last night Memphis jumped out to what I hoped would happen. They jumped out to a 13-2 lead, and they couldn't hold that.
No.
So neither team has been adept at holding on to leads.
Well, that's early in the game.
Yeah.
We saw what happened when Memphis got that big lead in the second game.
Yeah.
They raced out to a 30-point victory. And that's Minnesota. You get these leads, and all of a sudden you start getting careless with the basketball, start doing, and the fouls. Stop. Skip, when you got to stop thinking. These fouls add up. Somebody on the breakaway, I stopped the break. Okay, that's one foul. The next thing you know, they're in the bonus with 5 minutes left in a quarter. And do you everybody looking around. Stop looking around. You fouled a man. Skip, don't know. I've never seen, if I'm Adam Silver and say, look, the next time somebody looks up their shoulder and talk about challenge, when you absolutely hit the guy.
Yep.
You beam the guy upside his head and talk about, what? All right, that was a bad call. No, it's not.
By the
You're
way,
fouling him.
Commissioner Silver was sitting in the third row at this game last night.
Yes, they get on my nerve with that. I ain't fouling what? What? That's a bad call. No, it wasn't. It was a good call.
Way to go, Grizz.
Guys, I thought.
Way to go, Ja.
I thought last night's Suns-Pelicans game got chippy, but it is nothing on you two this morning with the way you were starting today. All right, speaking of which, did an unlikely hero just breathe some life